Hello everybody, today we're going to talk about what happens when you've established your first small kingdom and now you need to break out and take on more property, more castles and basically defeat much larger empires. But you've only got about 300 men, how do you do it? Well, first of all, you've got your companions. In order to stay afloat, you've disbanded your companions' armies. Now this is how things used to work back in medieval times. The new model army was the standing army in the UK during the Civil War years. That was much later than the medieval times. Prior to that, they used to hire and fire armies as needed as wars broke out. So that's what we're doing. First though, we've got 2 castles already. I've assigned each one a lord. One of them was a companion which I promoted to a lord by giving him the castle. I gifted him the castle. Now he has an army that serves me. Now, in a previous video where I explained how to avoid in bankruptcy, since I explained that promoting a companion with an army into a companion into a lord stops him becoming an expense on us. He becomes his own expense. He's responsible for his own army. We just need to give him a property so he can fund his army from the revenue from that property. Once we've given a companion a property, he then has an army that's self-contained and will serve us for free. His castle pays for everything. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're looking at each of the enemy castles and thinking that's another lord, that's another castle to pay for the lord's army, that's a little bit less expense on us. So the idea is, in order to get more lords, we've got to capture more castles. In order to capture more castles, we need a bigger army. So we've disbanded our companion armies because we needed to save money during peacetime. Now we're about to declare war. Now we build our companion armies up again, add it to an army of our own, and then we go on the offensive, which is what we're about to do here. So let's get into it. Now here, we're about to take on Dunnar Castle. And Dunnar Castle is an enemy castle, and we've got to declare war first, obviously, since once we declared war, our 1,000-strong army, and it will be 1,000 strong when the game starts, or gets going, will then take that castle. And we're going to try and do this quickly. There's 3 castles on my hit list. This is one of them. If we keep at least 2 of them, it's a successful campaign in my book. Now we're not going to waste time with proper siege warfare here, because we've got to do this quick because the enemy will attack in force fairly quickly. The best outcome we can hope for is a short war where we gain castles and he wants peace. I don't know what else is going on in the map in this case, but I suspect he's busy elsewhere, so we might pull it off. Now here I'm just transferring some troops into the castle we've just captured, so we don't want to lose it. I'm going to give it to myself later on and then gift it to various lords I want to promote. So, basically, any lord I decide I want to be one of my future clans will get that castle in the future. And we do the same thing again here with Kesar Castle. This is the one we're least likely to keep because it's closer to the enemy's biggest towns, but we're still going to try anyway. But remember, we want to get 2 out of the 3 that I'm targeting. So there we go, we captured it again. We're giving it some more garrisons to keep hold of it so it actually stays our property. Now we're lucky here because we can restock our own men with the troops if we need to. But we're going to get ours from the villages. We're going to go around the villages and hire and fire some more men as needed. These will be raw recruits, of course, but that's how it always works. I've previously been doing bandit hideouts in order to raise my standing with these, so I get better troops. Anyhow, there you go. I've just given myself Dunnar Castle. That will later be gifted to one of the future lords at the end of the war, probably. Now we've got a battle going on here. He's besieging one of our castles. We've got to defeat him because we can't have an army running around in our flanks taking back the castle. So we have to take him on. Now if we take on a 400 strong army, that's 400 men less any larger army will have. So it makes future battles a little bit easier. Although to be honest, I'm very surprised he didn't come at me with over 1,000 troops or 2 armies of 1,000 troops. So we're going to take this as a free gift and just go for it and try and win. Once this army's been defeated, it is we can focus on capturing the next castle. The idea is not to lose our entire army in one battle. Because if we lose our entire army in one battle, then we have to start again and he's got time to counter-attack and then we don't stand a chance. The worst scenario is we get attacked by two different factions, in which case we're on the defensive entirely. We might be lucky if we keep all of our property. So here we go anyway. This particular battle was quite a good one, but the enemy, as you can see there, is retreating away from me. He's not running off the map, he's just retreating. So I'm having to advance forward even further, but I'm going from hilltop to hilltop, so my archers can fire down. The bigger problem with this particular enemy is he has lots of mounted archers, so I had to run around trying to catch him and slaughter him. But anyway, as you can see, I beat them. Took some losses, but that's not too bad. We take them all prisoners, so that way we can make the money, because we have to make money while doing this to refund all the money we spent hiring our companion armies. So we have to make money. It has to be a profit-seeking exercise in order to keep us in the black, because when peace breaks out, we need the money spare. We don't want to be poor. So anyhow, here we go. We're going to go around and get some more troops, and now we're going to give one of our guys one of the factions, I think. Nope, we're giving it to myself. Never mind. Anyway, that particular one there will eventually go to one of the others if we still keep it. It's just gifting it to myself. Well, I'll give it to myself in the meantime. And again, more troops. Now, once we get beyond all this, we can get to that final castle. But first we've got to sell up what we've got, make some money. How much can we get? 38,000. Well, not quite, but near enough. That means we got a better bit of profit from it. Again, hiring more troops, etc., etc. Now we got that castle coming up again. Who do we give it to this time? Blag is one of those lords I poached off an enemy king. So he doesn't have any property yet, but I do need to give his clan property because he's not alone. He has many relatives who also have armies, and by giving him property, I allow him to fund a bigger army and do better. In the future, he'll get more castles from me for that reason, and it become quite important. But as you can see, I'm giving myself various castles as well. That should be the third and final castle we need to take. So now, as you can see, we've got the armies, we've got the lords, we've got the castles. Now we need peace, right? But peace is going to be a bit elusive. It's not going to come easily. So we've got to defend ourselves whilst we're doing this, keeping up the building of troops, recruitment of troops, promotion of troops, keeping people happy, stopping any counter-attack, that kind of thing. Ideally, peace will break out for us before any large army attacks. It's going to be a short war to grab property. That's what we're after here. Now you can see here I've got quite a few parties there, all of them costing me money, but war is expensive. So we keep them whilst we're at war. As soon as we're not at war, we start disbanding. You see, like I'm doing here. Now disbanding the force isn't instant. They've got to run around letting the troops go. It takes a little while. But once they're disbanded, they'll go to the nearest town that you own and they'll wait. At that point, you have to have them rejoin your army before you can do anything. Most of what you need to do next requires them be in your army or in your party, shall I say. So anyhow, we can see we've got peace. We've got we're now waiting for these armies to finish disbanding so we can start doing things. Once they have, we'll recall them to our own party, like there. It says we'll get a message to tell us they've been back in our party once they arrive, and then we'll be able to actually do something that we aim to do. At the end of all of this, instead of having two lords or two clans and our own army, we want to have at least 4 clans and our own army. So we've doubled our supporting lords or supporting clans in one battle. So we end the battle not just richer, but with a bigger army. Now here, one of my companions is being promoted to a clan. I'm going to give her one of the castles, and there you go. She's now her own clan. We give her a clan name, and as she has family and gets bigger and more powerful, she'll become more of an asset to us. But we'll have to pay attention to her relatives and family and things like that, just to see how it grows. Because the bigger they are, the better it is for us. Now, if we actually keep on doing this, we will eventually have succeeded in our initial goal to have more clans in our forces. Now, well, more clans in our kingdom. But the idea is when we finish the whole battle, or the whole campaign, not the whole campaign, but this particular part of the campaign, we will have a few companions missing. So we're going to rehire some new ones, like this guy here. Says the Falcon. Says he's going to become a new companion. We'll equip him, we'll train him, and then later on, sometime in the future, when we need another clan, we'll promote him into a position of power, give him a fief, and then he'll become a new lord. But remember, as we recruit these guys, they become our expense. They become something we have to pay for. So all we're doing here is we're making them with trainee clans, you might say. They're training them to be good fighters so they can become their own clan and run their own fives and things like that. And then, again, fight for us to expand our armies and our kingdom. It's a recycling thing. You hire your companions, you train them, you convert them into lords and give them a castle, then you hire a new one. Then you hire a new one. Says at the end of it, you should have a lot of highly trained companions ready to become clans of their own. This is in addition to hiring clans from other knights, other kingdoms and stuff like that. Like Blag, he's from the Surgeons, I think it is. I think that's how you pronounce it. I recruited him from them for about 300,000 gold, which is quite expensive. It's far cheaper to promote one of your own companions, if you understand me. Now here, you can see I'm looking just to see what we've got. It says if we go to the tavern, there's another one there. We're going to recruit her as well to replace the second companion that we've lost due to promotions and turning to clans. So we keep a full house. I've got traders or merchants running around. Some of my clans are merchants. They're charging around, making me money. I've got workshops, or a workshop anyway. So everything's doing all right. This bit is a bit expensive though. This is one of the reasons why we need to generate money from these battles in order to pay for the upgrades for these. At the end of all of this though, once everybody's been promoted to clan, or the ones we want promoted to clans are promoted to clans, and they've given a fief, you need time to let them build up their armies, so when the next war happens, they're ready for it. The same with companion armies. You really need to give them time to build up their forces, so when they go to battle, they're not using all raw recruits. So you need a bit of a gap. So we're going to finish by just explaining the very beginning of this before you actually go to war. Start your companions off with their own force, with their own party. Then don't declare war immediately. Let them run around hiring men. This is why you need money. This is why you need to make money during war, right? So you can have this time for them to build up their army. And then when they've got their army nice and big with decent troops, create your army, merge the lot, go on the offensive and win. And this is how you beat large empires. It's a trick involved hiring and firing of your companions until you reach a point where you have more clans in your army than you need to win any wars. After that, you can set each clan on or each party on offensive or defensive, and then go from there and use broader strategies. Anyway, that's it for now.